welcome back to the channel if you're new here. Hello! Today is a booktube video and I'm so excited because I've been wanting to make more book content. The only reason I'm able to film this is because I finally finished a book. And what is that book, you may ask? Daisy Jones and the Six. Let's talk about it. The idea is I'm going to talk about whether I think it was too hyped, not enough hyped, and basically a review. So let's talk about it. I do not exactly remember the first day I started it. It probably took me at least a month or so to read it though, just because I'm not the fastest reader, and I feel like it has to be like, maybe not like extremely quiet, but it has to be kind of quiet to a point so I can focus on what I'm reading. So there's certain things I have to do when I'm reading. But anyway, let's just start talking about the book, shall we? So, Daisy Jones and the Six is basically, I believe, set in the 70s. I've tried to ask my Google Mini behind the curtain, like, if it was, but it really didn't help me, but I'm pretty sure it was set in the 70s. So, it was not, like, old, but it's set in a little bit older times than we are. And so, it's set in the 70s, and the idea is that there's a group of people. There's Daisy Jones, and I cannot remember all the characters' names. It is so terrible. I'm going to look them up real quick so I can talk about each of them. I'm not going to remember everyone probably, but we can try. Like I said, I remember Daisy Jones. Let's see. Daisy Jones and the Six. Okay. So there's Daisy, Billy, Karen, Camila, Graham, Warren, Eddie, Rod, Simone, Teddy, Lucia, Julia, Bernie. Anyway, those are the main ones. So let's talk about it. Daisy Jones is obviously my favorite character. Most of my favorite characters in anything are normally the main character. But the idea is there's these like 5 people. I believe it was 5 plus Daisy Jones. Or no, I'm 6 because it's called Daisy Jones and the Six. So there's 6 of them. There's her. And they're not close. They don't even know each other at first. But they become to know each other because they want to make a band. And they do, which was called Daisy Jones and the Six. And disclaimer, I would give spoilers, but I'm not going to, just in case you've heard of it or whether you haven't or not and you want to read it or watch the show and you don't want to be spoiled for anything. So I'm just going to give my review without trying to spoil anything. But anyway, I like Billy a lot. So my favorites definitely have to be Daisy, Billy, and I'm going to say Warren. I did like Camila, but she's not my favorite. Anyway, but the idea is that it was them and they joined this band. And, you know, it's just kind of got drama in it too. I don't want to spoil it at all for you guys, but I wish I could get you a good, like, description without spoiling it. I'm honestly about to see if we can find, like, a, synopsis. So I don't spoil it, but you can get the idea of it. And then I can give some of my thoughts on this as well. So, let's see, synopsis. Okay, I think this is more for the TV show, but it works both ways. It follows a rock band in the 1970s from their rise in the LA music scene to becoming one of the most famous bands in the world and explores the reasons behind their split at the height of their success. Now let's talk a little bit about how the book is formatted. So it's not like a normal book. It's kind of formatted like a script for a TV show or movie. So when you read it, it'll say the character's name and their dialogue. So it's like and they're all at least a little small paragraph or more. And I kind of like the formatting in this book just because it was really easy to read and I didn't get too confused with the book. So it was really natural to read. It was really quick paced in my opinion too. So I really loved the format of it. It was really good to read. And it always made me want to keep reading. Every time I picked up my phone to read it, I never got tired of it because I don't have that physical book. I downloaded it off of a website. If you want to know that website, I will put a picture of the website on here so you can sort of see it. It is called, I believe it's Ocean of PDFs. I don't remember how I found it. I think I found it on TikTok. But it's a website. You search the book. Most of the time they have it. And then you download it to your files and you can read it there. So I read it on my book. But I really do love it. It was so good. It was kind of the idea of like drugs and sex and like their love lives. And some of that doesn't sound super appropriate or very entertaining. But trust me, it is so good. I originally didn't think I was going to read this book because I heard people say it was overhyped and I didn't know much about it. All I knew is I heard people say, oh, it's so good. It's so good. You should watch it. But every time people get so overhyped with stuff, I get too worried to watch or like read it. So I didn't read it for a long time. But I finally was like, you know what? Let me pick this up and see if it's any good. And I believe it really is, guys, because I really enjoyed this book. Like I said, every time I picked my phone up to read the book, I never got tired of it. I wanted to keep reading, keep reading. But the one thing I will say is the longest time I went without reading, about a week or two or so, I think was because I was getting closer to the end and I just didn't want it to end, guys. So I just kind of stopped, but then I finished it this morning. So I really did enjoy it, but I just didn't want it to end. And now I'm sad that it's over. So I'm thinking about watching the show, guys. Let me know if you've heard the show or the book, because I definitely want to watch it. So if so, if I can find it like on a website or something on my phone or laptop, then I'll probably watch it. But let me know what you guys think. But yeah, like I said, it's just kind of about the band, about the characters in their lives, what goes on with them. It's about the idea of them becoming a band. So once it gets, I think it's a little over halfway into the book, it starts talking about the band and how it goes with the band and how much Billy and Daisy argue and how they can't get along half the time. And then there's not just drama with the band, but there's, like I said, drama with each of the characters. They have their own little situations. I'm not going to say because I don't want to spoil it, but it is so good. Trust me, guys. I love this book. So if you have similar tastes with me, like romances, you think you could read almost anything, you'd probably like it. And maybe this is just me. I feel like it's just a more grown-up adult version of Julie and the Phantoms, but maybe just a little bit better. Because Julie and the Phantoms, don't get me wrong, it was good, but this was good in a better way. So it feels like a more adult version, but at the same time, it's obviously way better. But anyway, I just had to say that. Anyway, but like I said, the book and the show is... Why am I talking about the show? I can't even speak right now. The book is so good, guys. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I haven't said. Like I said, it was so enjoyable. Never got tired of reading it. And it is on my 5-star list, like I told you. If you have read this book, let me know what you rated it. Let me know if you gave it a review. I still haven't reviewed it yet, but I really need to review it on Goodreads so people who check out my Goodreads can see how much I actually love it. But it is so good, like I said. It goes through the band's journey, and after it talked about, you know, how the band's trying to go on tour and Daisy and Billy cannot get along on stuff, it starts to get an idea of their, like, tour and how they're all, like, go into these different places, and it starts talking about the band's success, and it sounded really fun. It was just like a fun book to read, and I really don't have too much else to say, so I'm not going to say too much else to get spoiled. But like I said, I love the book, highly recommend. And if you have any other books you want me to read, let me know, and I may or may not. But just one thing, I'm mostly on the romance side, so if you try to give me a book to read and it's fantasy or anything else, I'm probably not going to read it as much, or at least like it as much. So if you do want to recommend me a book, please try like romance or something with like one of the big plots is romance, even if that's not the main plot, because that's what I tend to focus on when reading. But yeah, let me know what you thought, if you've read it. If not, let me know if you plan to read it. And that's all I have to say for today. So I hope you guys enjoy watching me understand why I think this book is definitely overhyped, but it's overhyped for a good reason. So check out Daisy Jones and the Six, and I'm sure I'll see you sometime else on the internet. Bye!